Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it. What is up, you absolute champions? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Uniform Mike Papa, the Unapologetic Man Podcast. Gentlemen, I want to express to you once again how much I sincerely appreciate you tuning in. This podcast, the Unapologetic Man Podcast, is growing like a weed. It is the biggest dating podcast on the market, the highest rated podcast on the market, and I sincerely appreciate you guys continuing to tune in. And as always, I want to try to deliver you the goods today to teach you how to express to a woman that you like her and yes, even love her when the time is correct. Now, in my previous episode, I talked about how you should push girls away. Push girls away. Yes, that's right. Push girls away. What a genius title, right? And in this episode, it's going to be a counterbalance to that pushing element that, in fact, we also need to show women that we are interested in them. Because think about it. If you're all push and no pull, women are going to get butthurt and they are going to leave you, which I'm sure has happened to many of you guys. So just as with all things in life, it's all about balance. You have to know when to push, you have to know when to pull. And in today's episode, I'm going to give you that all-important ratio so you know when to do it, how to do it, so that women fall in love with you and you can let yourself fall in love with them and express to them just how much you like them. But gentlemen, only at the right time. And I'm going to lay out for you exactly how to do that. Before we jump into the content, I have so many screenshots on my desktop of review after goddamn review of my 3-month coaching program. So I want to read a quick one from my boy, Gus. What is up, Gus? I know you still listen to the podcast and I super appreciate it, brother. And here's what he says. Mark, your 3-month coaching program changed how I look at life, business, and relationships. I wake up in the morning and just feel like a confident man. I used to attract toxic women who were a horrible influence in my life. Now I'm speaking to super high value women who are also super sexy, and I am the selector. This program was well worth the price to fix the issues I had with confidence in women. You're a fucking champion, man. And I'm so thankful for your knowledge, help, and how you genuinely care to help people. You have an amazing thing going here that changes men's lives, and I'm so glad I was able to go through it. Gus, thank you so much. And gentlemen, if you too want to experience the results that Gus got, you know what to do. Click the link in the description below, fill out the quick application. You and I are going to talk. The reason why this podcast is the highest rated podcast in the dating niche, my program is by far the most effective program for teaching guys how to get success with women, is because not only do I genuinely and sincerely care about your success, but also because I approach it from a dualistic level. I don't just tell you what to say, what to do, and how to do it. I also work on the inner game aspect with what is the most effective modality ever created to remap belief systems, to remove traumas, to reinstall archetype schemas and meta programs, and that is NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. If and when you come join me in my 3-month coaching program, I create for you a custom 3-month NLP protocol specific to you that you go through over the 3 months. We remove bullshit belief systems like I'm not enough, you shouldn't approach people, hot girls don't want to be with a guy like me, as well as lessen the severity of traumas. We reinstall those archetypes that have you feeling like a low value male and make you feel like a fucking 10. Why is this so important? Because your behavior is dictated by your belief systems, and your belief systems are dictated by what you allow to go on inside your head. I want to ask you, what's going on inside your head? Do you think the belief systems you have create behavior that is attractive? Or do you think that maybe there's some insidious belief systems installed by somebody before you could defend yourself, such as your mom, your dad, your asshole brother, your bitch ass sister, or coaches, teachers, and whoever else that demeaned your self-esteem when you were a kid, and now you're hitting print on a printer that continues to spit out the same results? That is you going into social situations, you seeing a hot girl and feeling like you're not enough, she's too hot for you, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I don't want to bother her. Bullshit. that was put inside your head before you could defend yourself, and you keep getting the same results. I know this is true for a ton of you guys listening, so do yourself a favor. Apply to this program. I have the secret to make you into a girl magnet, just like we did Gus. When Gus came into the program, he was insecure, soft-spoken, thought he was unattractive. He was a little overweight, and the last time he went to the doctor said, "Man, you're obese," and Gus thought he said, "You're a beast." And Gus came into the program with an open mind, worked on himself, and now he's pulling fucking tens. And I'm telling you, boys, if you saw this guy when he first came in, you'd be like, no way will this guy get to that level? Yes way, because we remapped what is going on inside Gus's head so he feels like a 10, the only place where it matters. I'll tell you this, brother, I don't care what your situation is. I don't care what you look like. If you feel like a 10, girls are going to think you're a 10 too. Why? Because they follow the lead of your belief systems. And I want you to think about that. Women are following the lead of your belief systems. So if you have any insidious belief systems, they are going to say, yep, you're not attractive. Yep, you are too short, too fat, too bald, look like a chicken McNugget with tits or a potato with the bathing suit on it. Because your belief systems dictate your behavior dictates women's attraction for you. So let's go to the source, gentlemen, with NLP and remap that shit. This is why my program is by far the most effective program on the market. How do I know this is true? Because I've taken personally every single program out there. Yes, that's true. I literally take programs of courses that I already know are not up to the speed of my course just because I'm open-minded and I want to see what's out there. Hate to be arrogant here, gentlemen, but they don't light a fucking candle to what we have here. And this is why I have so many goddamn screenshots on my desktop of success story after success story. So apply to this. The least you can do is explore it and see if it's a good fit for you. With that rant out of the way, let's talk about how to express your interest to a woman. Now, in my last episode, I talked about how I was watching Star Wars last weekend because we were at a little family get-together and it happened to be on the TV. And as a dating coach, I'm always super interested in relationships with people. And usually when it comes to movies, they get it all wrong. Now, in the case of Star Wars, Han Solo was a little bit forward with old Princess Leia there, but he was able to land her because she was already attracted to him. In my last episode, I talked about, brother, if you come on strong like that, if you express your interest too much in a woman, if you compliment her too much, blow smoke up her ass, fluff her feathers, or let her go down Flex Avenue, you're going to get blown out. Now, in the movie, Han Solo took a big risk. He expressed his interest. He went in really forward and she accepted him. But I'll tell you what, for the vast majority of situations, Han Solo ran the risk of getting blown out so hard when the concussion hit, it would have launched Chewbacca out the Millennium Falcon because he came on really strong. And you don't want to do that until you're getting clear and obvious signals that women are attracted to you. And this goes into what I talk about all the time, gentlemen. Gus, if you're listening right now, what am I about to say? Damn right, the 80-100 rule. The amount of interest that you express towards a woman is dictated by her interest in you. How much do you give her? That's right, guys. You're all a bunch of smart motherfuckers. In fact, guys who listen to podcasts are scientifically proven to be smarter than those who don't, just so you know. So the fact that you're listening to this, I know you got a good head on your shoulders, and that's right. You give her 80% of what she gives you. So if Princess Leia wasn't down with the old Han Solo, she would have blown him out. So we always go into interactions knowing I am not hitting on this girl until she expresses interest in me. Guys, that is a blanket rule that I want you to abide by from this day forward. When I talk to women, when I go on dates, when I have any interaction with the woman, all I'm doing is giving value. I'm controlling the frame. I don't care what happens, and I am not expressing interest in her until she starts expressing interest in me. In this way, women actually lead the interest element of our seductions. And what I mean is you don't go there until she goes there, which means she leads it. But for all other things, you're leading. You're leading the frame. You're leading the conversation. You're leading the date if you two go on a date, and you're ultimately leading the relationship by only giving her 80% of what she wants from you. So, as I always teach, we go into the first interaction simply giving value, telling stories, doing gambits like cold reading, strawberry fields, the cube, push pull, breaking rapport, role playing, hypo stories, all the things that I teach in this podcast, but of course, more importantly, in my 3-month coaching program, that's going to turn you into an assassin with women and never run out of things to talk about again. That's all we're doing. But we're not doing the old, oh, you're so beautiful. Why don't you have a boyfriend? Oh, that dress looks amazing on you. Or girl, you just got my attention and I can't focus on any other woman in here. I'm just like so focused on you. This is what a lot of guys do, which is coming on too strong. Now you understand why many women say guys are creepy. And what I really like about my coaching, which by the way is different of some of the principles of those courses that I've taught, is we don't hit on them until they're attracted to us. Guys, this allows you to bypass rejection by like 90%. Because if you're talking to a girl and you're not doing those things like, oh, you're so beautiful, why don't you have a boyfriend? Your lips are so sexy, the way that dress looks on you gets me so hard, it's like the Statue of Liberty's in my pants. Instead of doing that, we don't compliment at all until she compliments. We don't express interest at all until she expresses interest. And for God's sakes, boys, you do not tell a woman she loves you until you're damn fucking sure that she loves you first, because this is going to get you blown out so hard. It's like Chewbacca getting launched out of the Ewok village, spinning into outer space. That's how massive it's going to get you blown out. So from the first conversation to the time that you tell her you love her, she's the barometer. She's the leader, as crazy as that sounds. Again, you lead the relationship, you lead the conversations, you lead everything, because he who wants less is the one who's in power in the leadership role. And I really want you to think about that one. He who wants less, which means you, brother, is the one who's in the leadership role. And you have to be in the leadership role. You have to be in that masculine energy to lead her to where she wants to be led. But in a weird way, she's actually leading, because it's her interest that dictates how much we can express our interest. Now, immediately, the haters, the trolls, those who get their anal chakra hyperextended by what I say are getting pissed, because they're like, man, you should just be yourself, express your interest, and if it works out, it works out. Really? For all my boys listening right now, the Unapologetic Man Army, they're shaking their head saying, no, I've tried that before, and it got me blown out so hard, it blew the anal chakra out of Chewbacca's butt. I ain't fucking doing that again. Besides, she doesn't want you to be too interested in her, because it pisses women off when guys come on too strong, when they're too needy, when they express too much interest before she's ready to go there. It creeps them the fuck out. As you women listening can attest, even you haters who troll me and try to find things that piss you off so you can email me, which by the way, if you're emailing a dude like me about something I said that pisses you off, I suggest you look at your life, because you're probably a very unhappy person. I suggest NLP for you. I don't work with women on NLP, but there are plenty of coaches out there. Google it. I strongly suggest that for you. If you're sending a guy like me hate mail, and if you're a dude doing the same thing, you need help, bro. Because anybody who tries to put down somebody else, me, the guys listening, whoever, have major fucking problems in their life. So I'm going to leave that there. So we control ourselves. Control that red helmeted warrior in your pants that wants nothing more than to get it in, because the last time he got its dick wet was in the shower. I get it, but you have to hold back. So how do we smartly express our interest in a woman? You do it from that perspective. 80% of what she expresses in you. And this comes down to even subtle things like body language. In the beginning of a conversation, I might have turned body language where I'm not directly facing her until she faces me. Then I'm going to give her about 80% of the body language. Proximity, she comes in, I'm going to let myself come in a little bit. She compliments me, I'll toss a compliment at her. She's opening up and clearly showing she wants me to touch her. At that point, I might grab her hand. She's opening up and giving me signs that she wants me to come in. Then I'll come in. I want you guys to think of the mating ritual of the birds of paradise, right? It's only until the woman says yes does the guy move forward. And those birds of paradise are pretty smart motherfuckers. They get out on the dance floor, they flex their feathers, they show value, but they don't attack the female bird like a lion on the Serengeti. They wait until she's like, yeah, I'm into it. And then they're like, all right, baby, let me take you there. And that's what chicks want. See, oftentimes you'll hear women say, God, I just want a guy to grab me and throw me up against the wall and make out with me. I've literally heard women say this, not only on interviews, not only my friends, but chicks who I just happen to meet in the nightclub. They like tell me this straight out. Why? Because they're attracted to me and they want me to do that. But if you do it to a woman who isn't attracted to you, what's going to happen? You get the police called on you. She's going to call you a creep. And now suddenly you're a piece of shit with a sex offender file. Of course, that's an extreme example. It's not really true. But this is why in my program, especially in today's age, we are not pushy. We wait until we get those signs. So now you're texting with her, you give her about 80% of what she wants. When she's ready to hang out, which is often shown by several indicators of interest, her laughing at your jokes, her responding really quickly, her even suggesting, what are you doing this weekend? Then you take the lead and say, hey, you seem pretty cool. I think we owe it to ourselves to hang out sometime. Do you agree with this brilliant conclusion? And guys, when it comes to that template, I suggest you use it word for word. It has proven successful thousands of times, not only for me, but my clients. Here it is again. Hey, you seem pretty cool. I think we owe it to ourselves to hang out sometime. Do you agree with this brilliant conclusion? Which is kind of funny. And they say, yes, I do. And then you set up the date. But when do you do that? Do you do that when she's being ho-hum, not laughing at your jokes, just sending back LOLs and ha-ha-has? No, you do it when she's invested, thus showing you that she's ready to be led where she wants to be led to. So now you're leading her on the date. You set up the date, you lead it, but only when she's leaning in, having signs of interest, do you do the same thing? Do you lean in? Do you show signs of interest? Is it okay to get all googly-eyed 1000 with the chick when you're sitting across the table with her? Yes, it's okay. It's okay to show that you're sprung on a girl if she's sprung on you, which goes back to the old, I want a guy to take me and throw me up against the wall and make out with me. She wants that, but only from a dude who she wants that from. And that's the conundrum, isn't it? Is that you get women saying one thing and then you do it and they're like, you're a creep. The reason is because they're not enough attracted to you. So they are the leader as far as how much you express attraction to them, how much you compliment them, how much you show interest in them. Can you show a ton of interest in a girl if you're super interested in her? Hell yeah. But what am I going to say? Only when she shows that same interest to you or about 20% more. So she's leaning in, she's complimenting you, she's saying you're so hot, she's touching your arm, she's into it. You can be into it, bro tendo, 80% of that. Now, when it comes to telling a girl that you're in love with her, I strongly suggest, and I learned this through personal experience, that you wait until she starts saying, I'm in love with you. What's really funny about human psychology is we're often afraid to express that we love somebody. And certainly I'm not telling you to come from a fear-based mentality. I'm telling you that if you do it too soon before she's ready, it's going to turn her off. She needs to be the first one that says it. Why? Because the person who wants less, the one who's less reactive, the one who's less needy, the one who's less invested is the one who's in power. And yes, the one who's in the masculine energy. And you, brother, need to be in the masculine energy, rotator cuff. Because if you're the one coming on too strong and she wants less, what have you just done? You put her in the masculine energy, which kills attraction. So it's not games, it's not fear, it's simply what works and what she actually wants from you. Because as I said before, guys who come on to women too strong turn off those girls, even when the girl initially liked him. And time and again, I've heard girls say to me, I wish he would just not text me as much. I wish he would just slow down and stop being so needy because I like him, but it's like he likes me more than I like him. And it's such a turnoff. Have you guys heard girls say this? If you haven't, I certainly have, as have all my assistant coaches, my boys, Victor and Jared, who, by the way, you can meet with if you want to come meet with us. They've been through the program. They're experts at seducing women and they're NLP experts. All my guys have seen this. So we hold ourselves back. Even if, yes, we feel ourselves getting sprung. Even if, yes, we feel ourselves falling in love, that's okay, but you got to hold yourself back and wait for her to get there first. It's my same concept with when do I ask her to be my girlfriend? I'm going to tell you, brother, do not fucking do it until she brings it up. And until she does, shut the hell up. Keep your emotions in check. I know you love to get in the cuddle shuttle and just nestle with her and put your nose in the back of her hair and just be like, she smells like roses and potpourri and I just want to make this girl my girl, man. Don't do that until she brings it up. How do women bring it up? They're going to say, what are we? What are we, Mark? And what I always say is, we're not unlike monkeys floating on a rock through outer space that's strangely spinning at the perfect rate to have the days be short during the winter and the days long during the summer. It's absolutely incredible. And she's like, no, silly, what are we? Only when she starts bringing that shit up do I decide if I want her to be my girlfriend. And usually what I do, steal this from me if you want to, is I wait for her to ask several times so that I know, okay, she's convinced that she wants to be with me. And then I'll ask her, how and when do I say I'm in love with her? Girls will start dropping hints. Usually before they say I love you, they're going to say, I love how you are. I love how you do this. Or I love you when you do XYZ. I've had so many girls do this to me where they'll throw it in there without actually saying it. And I'm like, okay, this chick is clearly in love. And yeah, I'm in love with her too. So I'm going to tell her now because she's told me in either a direct way or a roundabout way. But God bless America. I'm not the fucker to say it first because I've done that. And I got blown out so hard. It was like Chewbacca getting blown up when they blew up Tatooine, which I think they did. It's been a while since I saw that part in the movie. Anyway, I like the Chewbacca references because, like I said, I just saw that Star Wars and Han Solo was a goddamn pimp, but he got lucky, man. He got lucky because she was feeling it inside herself. She's like, ooh, I'm attracted to this guy. And then he comes on at the right time. You can come on strong, but it's only when she wants you to come on strong. How do you know that? You learn to read the signs. You learn about female psychology 101. You learn what kind of things women do to invite you to do that. And from a woman's perspective, they're oftentimes like, God, guys are so fucking clueless. I'm giving this dude the biggest green light I possibly could, and he doesn't see it. God, that's annoying. So women get annoyed by two things: coming on too strong at the wrong time and not coming on strong enough. How do we know what balance to give them? 80%. How do we know when they want it? Takes training, bro, migo, which is why my 3-month coaching program is a transformation. It's an experiential program of 3 months of getting out in the field with the rest of the brothers and learning how to read women, learning how to talk to them, learning how to give value without giving a shit what happens, and learning how to give them 80% of what they give you. Yes, even from the first conversation. So I tell you to push girls away, push girls away, push girls away. That's one technique. The counterbalance to that is you also have to express interest, because if she's interested in you, she wants to know that you're interested in her. Think about it from your perspective. Have you ever been really interested in a girl and she just didn't give you anything back? And you're like, well, fuck that. She's not interested in me. If she were playing games and still showed you no attention, she'd still lose you, wouldn't she? Because she's not giving you enough attention. We need validation as humans. But that all important balance, right? You have to give her the right balance or it's going to make her lose attraction for you. Either giving her too much attention, going beyond the 80%, or giving her too little, going below the 80%, which is pushing her. So there has to be the right amount of push, the right amount of pull. It has to be that perfect balance, which you learn by getting out there and getting experience. A lot of you guys are what I call podcast jockeys, right? You just listen to podcast after podcast and think, if I could just get one more episode, if I could just listen to that a couple more times, then I'll be good with women. Brothers, it doesn't happen by you sitting in your car driving, listening to this. It doesn't happen to you listening to this on your headphones while you're walking, working out, or whatever else you're doing. It happens by getting out there with a bunch of other brothers, experimenting, learning, having experience. That's going to get you the skill set that you need. Because one night out, talking to girls and getting experience is better than 100 podcast episodes. And that's why in my program, it's an experiential transformation, not information. You get enough of that here. It's a transformation where we get you out there. We tell you where to find girls, what to say to them, how to be outcome independent and not pushy so that rejection is sidestepped and they get attracted to you. Then once they're attracted to you, how do you show attraction to them? What do you do when she's giving you indicators of interest? When do you ask for the phone number? What do you text on the first text? When do you go for the hangout? What do you do on the first date? What do you talk about on that first date? How do I compliment her? How do I physically escalate? How do I know that she wants me to kiss her? When I do kiss her, how long should I kiss her for? Should I be the one to stop it, or should I try to have sex with her? Then after that, what do I text her next? What do I do on the second date? What do I do in a relationship, which I also teach? How do I tell her I'm in love with her? How do I ask her to be my girlfriend? How do I marry her? And then once married, how do I maintain that so she doesn't leave me? As so many of you guys listening have been left by women because you don't do the right things. The time for podcast listening and collecting all this knowledge is over. It's time to start your 2024 like a fucking man and go into this. You will never be ready. And that's something I've been wanting to say to you guys for a while. You will never feel like you're completely ready. It's just like having a kid. You're never ready to have a kid. It's just like getting shredded. You're never totally ready to get in shape. You just got to do it. You just have to act. I am here for you, brother. I will teach you, just as I did Gus, how to become a girl magnet. Apply below by clicking the link, fill in the quick application. You and I are going to talk. It's a no obligation exploration of whether or not we can 10x your results with women, which we do with every single client who applies. Can't make you apply, bro. That's on you. You got to step into your masculine energy, be towards oriented, and execute. Because guys who execute are guys who get laid. Guys who don't execute don't get laid. It's just that simple. Gentlemen, I do appreciate you listening. As a reminder, I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you in the next episode.